back.
1. Perfect timing, Gargamel. I think I just started the stream. We'll wait
Cool.
We'll wait a minute or a little less as people catch up. Or mustard. My cousin is next to me. Pro's getting excited. People will come in. No worries. I believe in the monsterhood. I believe in the monsterites. They gather naturally. We're playing the slow beat, otherworldly tune today, reminiscent of the never-ending story. Hey Gargamel, how did you like that referencing to the never-ending story song in Stranger Things Season 3?
I was actually forgot about that already. I thought I remember that. It was kind of fun.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Did you see the end of Season 3 yet?
Yeah, I finished it.
So what did you think of it?
I enjoyed it.
Did you like reading of the post-credit scene and that what you say?
What exactly happened there? I'm trying to remember.
That means Bethany has arrived.
Hi, Bethany.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I like how they, with Stranger Things, they can keep doing something original instead of just bringing back the usual monster and story type. Now I'm looking forward to starting The Witcher soon.
I haven't got to watch that yet. I'm wondering what day I should even start getting into that series.
Oh, I already forgot about that. I'm serious. I need to start seeing it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that my oldest sister was actually into Witcher.
Nice. And at least you, Gargamel, have Netflix, right? Since you've watched Stranger Things.
I think sometimes they have episodes.
Yes, of course I have Netflix. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's okay.
What were you saying, Beth?
Sometimes they end up having like some clips of it or some episodes on YouTube.
Oh, nice.
I don't know. I don't know if it is. I want to break my internet box so much.
Alrighty.
Like it has a stroke every 5 minutes.
That's not good.
It's what happens when we use Comwave.
Alright, guys, here we are. We're live. We're out in the open.
I've never even heard of Conway, Bethany.
Well, apparently, even my one friend who had it, he said it's like the world's shittiest internet.
Oh. Huh.
Then I'm glad I don't have it.
Yeah, because lately it's been terrible for me. Whenever I try to play online, I disconnect and lag ferociously.
Alright, guys, we're on there. You can watch us on YouTube. We're
Even
back
right
us
now,
up there.
everyone's like lagging for me.
Well, we'll try to make it smooth as possible here. I'm going to try to at least optimize so I don't lag from this end.
I'll
Just a
probably
moment,
just leave
everybody.
because my internet is too terrible to even be on the internet. I'll be lucky enough to understand a single sentence.
Well, have you been understanding us?
Not really. Like bits and pieces, but not all.
Okay.
I have to wait at least 2 years till the contract ends, and maybe we can change to a different internet.
I see.
So till then, shitty internet.
Alright, guys. Alright, let's get started. Okay, so this is Monstercast number 60. 60th Monstercast here. Let's shout out everybody once more. Oh, there's JMPF. Hello, JMPF. Real life winter monster born December 22. Oh, you are a true winter monster or winter monster master, JMPF. Just after the winter solstice. So there's one of our most active members, JMPF. Awesome. Hola. Although you were born during a rather warm winter, I'm assuming, over there. Let's see.
This winter here is shit as well.
Darth asked, Arthur, can I use monsters who live in cold places but not have ice? Yeah, the main point is we're going to be looking at monsters that are just mostly relevant to... Sorry, I'm going to take my volume down a little bit from this end. Monsters that are relevant to winter and coldness.
That might be kind of... Actually, you know what? That might be kind of strange because there's a strange problem with that. The Southern Hemisphere, the seasons are reversed. Did you know...
right.
It's a fun fact. Australia's Christmas is in their summer.
Yeah. That is weird. I haven't really experienced that yet. I've been in other parts of the world, but I've always been in the kind of the upper part of the equator or around the equator area.
Well, where I am, it's literally supposed to be winter right now, but it keeps snowing, melting.
Yeah, that's the same here.
Winter is shit.
It's a little bit weak this year so far.
Southern California pretty much never snows.
Yeah.
I remember when I was younger, it would snow so much that I could literally bury myself in it.
Pro in South Africa does have summer right now, so yeah, that kind of sucks because then this episode's not really relevant for either Pro, but I guess that's the damn
talking
influence.
About winter, cold things.
So anyway, we're going to be talking about monsters from a winter type influence. So try to focus on that. If you can't find something, then just want monsters that thrive in the cold. But winter, because winter has a lot of things like the holidays and things associated with it. But definitely let's make it a goal to mention monsters, especially if we're looking at holiday related ones that we haven't heard of or you think people haven't heard of. And the other main goal is scary. So as usually on these discussions, let's choose a monster that's lesser known and is indeed scary. Pro, can you shout out everybody again? Make a tag at everyone, so at least Chris and Z can make it here.
I admit the only one I could think of is Krampus.
All right. Well, let's see. At the end, after everybody's
gone...
gone...
one that's definitely not Krampus, and I have a feeling most of you have never heard of, or if you have heard of it, you've heard of it from me.
Once everybody's done sharing today, I'll pull up a list of a few that I'll cover quickly. Yeah. Maurice Ramey joined us on YouTube. Wonderful. It's winter for me, but this year it's not snowy at all. Yep. It was snowy earlier. Well, we'll see over here.
Yeah, like it did snow, but it didn't. It melted away.
It snowed here where I live, and that was weird.
Yeah, it has to be global warming because when I was younger, my birthday used to be on like a nice spring day. Now it fucking snows on my birthday.
Right. Yep. Alrighty. So let's get started. Today's Monstercast number 60 is going to be scary winter monsters. Let's do...
I'm probably going to die by heat when I'm 25.
So dramatic. I'm not gonna do the wheel of torture, at least not just yet. So I'll probably call out someone, and then that person can call out the next person, and it'll be a little bit active, and then people have to pay attention and such. There's only a few of us. People will probably join. We usually start a little later, so I'm sure it'll grow in numbers here. Arch says, I'm at work.
Hello.
Nice werewolf reaction.
Hi, Z.
Hi, Z.
Awesome.
Sorry,
C's here.
A friend of mine just started unloading his post-traumatic stress disorder on me, and I couldn't join early.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, relieve
Well,
yourself
I think
here.
it's better than it's not. Post-traumatic stress is not something easy to deal with.
No.
No. C.
What do you say to a person that suffers from that kind of stuff?
I don't know because I never had anyone around me that did.
That's a good thing to Google. See.
With chronic depression, but not something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of a big above my head.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to relate to with the common kind of support you'd give someone feeling low or anxious.
Give them ice cream.
There you go. See, well, tell them to go take a cold shower. That's helpful for a lot of those type of things.
Go watch a movie, eat popcorn, relax.
Cold showers.
Take them nice places.
Tell them to look up the Winhoff method on YouTube. I've been getting into that more and more. Very helpful with anxiety, depression, and the like. Anyway, see, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about scary winter monsters. So see if you can find out something that's scary, winter related, and that probably nobody here has heard of, or most people in the world. That'll be the challenge for you.
Well, the thing is, I have done a little research, and most winter monsters are monsters that simply just so happen a lot during winter. There was that one starvation one, well, not starvation, cannibalism one from the North American.
You mean the Wendigo?
Yes, that one.
And how has your winter been? See, have you been getting much snow over there?
No, ironically, I think global warming is actually happening because we have no more snow. We don't get snow anymore.
Yeah, apparently for me and Arthur, it just snows, melts. It's just going back and forth.
Yeah, it never stays. And we had a single snow, but that was really little, and it's kind of terrifying because we used to have lots of snow.
Interesting.
It used to snow a lot when I was a kid, just now it's turned to shit.
Yeah, you see, here it hasn't changed that much. Colorado weather, being by the mountains, we get those shifts. But for you guys to be hearing that from you,
yeah, well,
that's certainly significant.
Here it's actually, it doesn't snow, but it's gotten warmer, so it's the climate, it's less pleasant now than it used to be.
Damn.
Except it used to be really cold in the winters here. Except it's just cold enough that it just right above the area where it would snow. Just
all right, guys. There's your lesson. Stop breeding.
We're all gonna die.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
But don't breed
we're
anymore.
We're gonna die eventually, but we're not gonna all die from global warming. Thankfully.
Technically, we all are going to die.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Eventually it'll be so hot we'll boil alive.
We've been running long enough. That's been 13 minutes of BSing. Let's get the party started. I'm going to call out, first of all, Gargamel for you to share your winter monster since you already posted the video. If you want, you can repost it, and then I'll play it silently while you discuss it.
Okay. It's I'm going to repost it right now.
I'm trying to find one. Struggling.
Google, people. Google.
Would technically any Canadian monsters would be considered a snow monster?
A snow monster, but not necessarily a winter one. So,
moose.
if you want to challenge yourself more, you want to look up specific to winter. But if you can't find anything winter, then snow will have to do. Just make sure it's scary. Team Godzilla's here, and who is that again? That is Bog. Welcome, Bog. Greetings. Okay, Gargamel, go ahead. Tell us about the Yule Cat.
Yeah, the Yule Cat is an unusual one. Some of you guys have probably only heard of it because I did, mention it to you in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It's a creature from Icelandic folklore that it comes around Christmas time. It's a giant cat, and it basically will kill anyone who isn't dressed good, who doesn't have new clothes.
That's an odd thing.
Yeah, and it is odd. But it becomes because in the time of then it was because originally if you didn't work really hard in Iceland and make new clothes, it would you could freeze to death. And I think the creature may have been invented as a explanation as to all that. But it is pretty scary because the giant cat that goes around, killing people.
Yeah.
You could make a good horror
I feel like
movie
it's
about
just
it.
a threat to make sure you make clothes.
You could.
Yeah, but it's also pretty terrifying.
Yeah. I wonder
what if you're like too poor and you can't, get your hands on new clothes. No matter how good you are, even then, there's always the chanceability you're not gonna, have new clothes, and this creature's gonna come across you. See you have some torn clothes. Maybe someone else just attacked you and ripped your clothes, off, or you had an accident and your clothes torn. This creature comes up on you, this giant cat, and it decides, okay, oh, you're not in the latest fashion. You're not dressed good. I'm gonna eat you now.
Right.
So a fashion-orientated monster.
Well, sort of.
Yeah.
I like.
And it's a giant cat, a mouse cat that eats people.
I like folk monsters like that have a specific thing about them. I'm wondering if it was also created to keep children, because a lot of these things were created to keep children under control, like other things.
Well, if it was invented to keep children under control, it was invented to keep them working and keep them making new clothes. Right.
But also, when your kid doesn't want to dress up warm or something, you can tell them, well, the Yule Cat's gonna get you. That kind of thing.
Maybe that would kind of make sense.
Could be just a
that
part
into
of it, right?
Movie. They made a Yule Cat horror movie, which someone
Yeah.
may well have done. I don't know. I haven't done any research on that, but I thought the Yule Cat was
Nice.
interesting. I posted the video and I posted links to a Google search to see if we can get even more information on it.
Now, Gargamel, do you
pictures and
remember who the owner of the cat is? Because that's pretty significant too.
Yeah, there are a bunch of. Oh, I just forgot the name of the. They're like a bunch of elf-like creatures that, torment people around the holidays by. Oh, I forgot that part.
Oh yeah, right. I remember there was
What are they called
something,
again?
but I forgot what they were.
Like.
Yep. So, Gargamel, you mentioned if they made a horror film about it. So my question is, to you particularly, since this is your monster of the day,
Yes.
if they would make a horror film, how would you like them to display the cat? Because you can have horror films that will totally change it up so it's very unlike a cat in appearance, but they'll still call it the Yuletide cat or whatever. Or you'll have horror films that'll stick more with it and make it look like an actual giant cat, but that'll be hard to kind of do with a horror film.
I'd make it look like an actual giant cat, but I'd make its kills incredibly gory, and there'd be a lot of slapstick, one-liners in between of it, because I'd imagine it as a
Right.
dark horror comedy.
Well, that's something. That's a new interpretation of that.
I'd just like
it's
to
a
say the
giant
most
cat that's killing people because they're not dressed very well.
Yeah. That's what I like with
Come up
older
this stuff
movies.
just for warning. They try to make people do one thing but try to avoid the other. They try to scare them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to go outside in winter with an inappropriate. But then again, I don't like going outside in general, so
Yeah.
kind of person.
Well, a
I'm
lot of people,
honestly trying to look everywhere
like
for
the
a
outdoors.
winter monster. The majority of them is for Yetis and Wendigos.
Yeah, Wendigos do have that winter theme
And then there's
because
the,
there was something about the people snowing in.
And then there's the what is it? Santa's dog cousin. What is
Krampus?
it again? Krampus. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's Krampus.
All right, guys,
Those
we'll
are like
see
the
if anybody
three you can
mentions
think of.
these later, so let's not spoil it for someone else in case they got one.
Okay.
Um,
So what do you guys think of the Yule Cat?
I think that the most terrifying part is it makes you put clothes on.
I mean, the
It
worst
makes
monsters
you go
make
out
you clothes.
shopping for new clothes.
well, we all know how deadly it would be. We know how aggressive and dangerous cats can be, and then larger felines. So something as a giant cat,
Yeah, basically bigger than a house.
that'd be
Yeah,
that'd
I
be
mean,
hard to
a
handle.
lion is scary on its own, if for no other
Yeah.
reason. It's a fucking lion with giant claws and that. And
Um,
cat. Anyone that has had an encounter with a cat knows a cat has claws too.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, does it leave any remnants of its kill, or does the person
Like
just completely
goop?
disappear?
Like a
no, I
furball.
was
I
like
don't really
thinking-
know. It doesn't go. I don't think.
I was thinking, is there,
it
like,
doesn't
any
go into
blood
much
left,
detail
or
about what it
do-
leaves behind?
Huh.
So I'm guessing it just, leaves whatever remnants a regular cat would leave if it,
Imagine
killed you
how-
and ate you like it was a mouse.
Right.
I was imagining something a little bit more eerie and creepy, like somebody just being absorbed by it, or
Ooh.
something.
Imagine
mean-
how loud it would be in the winter night when it's hacking up her furball miles away. People would hear it in their homes, trying to enjoy
yeah, I
their
imagine
Christmas.
the fur balls of that creature would be really horrible to clean up.
You can
I
just
mean,
imagine
it's
seeing
winter.
You can imagine seeing these big balls of fur everywhere.
Well, it'd be big balls of clothing.
You can
Or-
make you can make
Big balls
Either
of
of
bad
that thing.
clothing, of course.
Bad clothing. See, that's what I like
think I
with
just found a monster.
that's what I like with old movies, like black and white movies, because in a black and white movie, if you hear the title Yule Cat, you'll expect that and you'll see it in the black and white movie, and they'll still make it creepy and somewhat scary with the way they would make films. But now if you hear the
Especially
title
snow.
Yule Cat and you go to the cinema and you watch it, you could expect anything. You could expect this grotesque, necromorphic looking monster or anything out there. So I like that kind of
You go
challenge
there
that you
and
had
then
with black and
realize
white.
it's just a kitten.
Now everything comes down to like originality and concept art and just making it scary. And then it's overly
Well, black and white, sorry.
creepy and
I think we're
CGI, but the
talking
story's not
execution,
deep
yeah.
enough.
Scary. Because it just reminds you that you're watching a film.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if it was Snow White, and so it would
Like a
blend
fucked
in.
up version
Like-
of Snow White.
No. I'm just imagining, like, a lot of people think of black cats as the scary sort of thing, but
Mhm.
a white cat in a white environment being able to suddenly disappear
Nice.
almost, and then you see its eyes.
There
in
we
a
go, guys.
Completely different area, and you realize how well and
I
truly
think it would
screwed
be
you are.
like an albino cat or something.
Cool. Some good
Yeah.
ideas here.
We're
I
getting all of the creativity. People should hire us.
Like probably like a ghost albino cat or something.
Yeah. Like the movie, what was it? The Ritual, I think, that came out lately. That kind like a action slash horror, like would be really cool with it. Like it takes place in Iceland, because if you had a giant cat, like as big as a house or two houses, walking around Iceland, even now it wouldn't be that easy to handle because we don't have that much military and stuff over there, or although probably more than we think. But still, with a quiet place like that and with a harsh winter, even in this day, it'd be tough to handle a creature that big, so it'd be pretty
it's a
relevant.
Supernatural being, so
Yeah.
maybe
Right.
our weapons, regular weapons, would not be able to hurt the thing.
For sure.
Just
Anyway,
get
that'd
a
be cool.
giant laser and we should be fine. Oh, it wouldn't hurt it, but it would
Just
distract
use-
it.
Giant
yeah,
laser.
if you're playing on the laser like a regular cat.
Goodness. I just imagine like it being finally down to a family or two, struggling and figuring out the weakness and working together to destroy it while most of the town died or something like that. So it turned from a horror, creepy, to that action reaction, kind of like you'd see in 28 Days Later kind of thing. With a change of character, and Night of the Living Dead, where the characters are all freaked out and scared, and that's how it begins. And then halfway later through the movie, they gain the guts and learn the knowledge about it more. So the fear lessens, and then they learn how possibly to destroy it, and it kind of changes.
To fight
form.
monsters, we
be
build our
fun.
own monsters.
I
Fight
love
monsters with
changes like that in movies.
And then they build a giant robot.
Right,
to
they
fight it
become
with.
monsters
Never mind.
themselves. It's that kind of deep thing. We've become the monster in the end. But better.
That-
Right on.
Well,
Gargamel?
Hear my mighty roar.
If you're ready now, call out the next person to share our scary winter monster.
I'm ready.
Okay. I'll do a Bethany Game Master.
All right, Beth.
You
You've been
ready?
called out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Lie. Yeah.
All
well,
right.
what a monster.
There we go.
Look
She
at the
found this
size
one.
of that hairball.
Cool. What can you tell us about Yukiona?
The majority of the time I'm lagging, so I can't exactly explain that.
Oh, that one.
Use the text-to-speech botch.
Botch.
Alright.
Let's see. Yukiona first appeared in
I'm
the
like really lagging.
1300s.
I can't even explain it.
Then use the text. Or write it out.
Well, she posted stuff already. So let's see. She uses her. So this is a Japanese-based one. It's one of the yokai. Is Yukiona a yokai?
Is it
think-
the ice hat?
She was. Yes, it is. She uses her breath, to freeze them completely until their deaths. Some stories claim that she uses a baby to lure her victims by asking for help in the storm, and that when the human touches the baby, they get completely frozen. So yeah,
Is
she
it bad
freezes.
that I imagine her throwing her baby at people?
She freezes people. She could do that too. But I forgot what sort of people, because there's usually more to it with these Japanese ones. It's usually somebody that did something wrong. And we do have a video on Yukiona. It was created and hosted by Dogdanza, if you guys remember. It's a pretty good short little all about one of those explained
Like a short
videos.
film?
And it's you can search
Yeah,
it
I
out on
remember
YouTube.
That. I remember that one by Dog Dons. I just remembered it now.
Mm-hmm. You can search it out by
Why
Yukiona
aren't
Explained.
we seeing him much more anymore?
He's been in the military over there, so he drops by whenever he gets home.
Oh. That explains it.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, let me see, because she's featured on this list I have here, too. Yeah, she kills and freezes people with her breath. And the baby thing, yep. NSC said
I'm
she
really
might as well
interested
throw
in
the baby.
yokai.
It's like a freezing bomb.
Doesn't she, like, hate man? Especially him? Or is that another
I think not.
ice?
No, if that's I forgot what her name is, but she had like a slit mouth.
There's one to everything. I remember talking about one with
Yeah,
the
I remember that one.
eyes
too,
on her
the one with
arms.
the slit mouth, but I still can't remember her name.
I know what she is, but I just don't forgot her name.
So this one's more just to sort of anybody that's out, especially stranded, and then you hear a baby crying, or something, or you see a lady while you're alone in a winter storm heading toward her, and then she freezes you. Now, because that's usually a man enticing thing, like we have with the mermaids and sirens and such. So that we have that sort of here. That's why she's beautiful, right, to entice men. But what about women? How does this stuff work on women? Are they not enchanted at all?
That is the baby.
Ah, that's the baby. So the woman's natural child-carrying instinct
Motherly
kicks in.
instincts.
Yes, the motherly instinct.
I mean, I'm not saying every single one's first impression would be, oh, a baby, let's pick it up. I mean, okay, maybe not pick it up, but take it away from this woman they just met in that snowstorm.
Well, of course, like even if I was in a blizzard and hear a baby crying, I'd try to go find it.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah, for sure.
all the-
If I were lost in the first place, I might do that too, and I'll think about it.
Yeah. Hence, I like it because she's got everything covered. She's got the man's side covered, the woman's side, the child's side, if there's a child stranded. She's got it all covered and Frozen.
I mean, except
Wonderful.
someone
You know, with all
that this is a person lost in a blizzard.
Quick
So,
question then.
They're probably going to be lost anyways in most cases.
Right. Quick question then. This
I'd
is a
just
common
like to say,
question.
with the amount of yokai that just kill people via giving them babies or scare people by giving them babies, you might
Chris
it
is
might not be
lag.
Dio's here. Welcome. And he's gone.
like the spider
And he's
one
back.
that gives somebody a bundle that looks like it's got a baby, and then a bunch
Ah.
of little spiderlings burst.
Nice. So,
I can't help now but think of her using her baby as an actual weapon. For obvious reasons. If for no reason, that it says when they touch the baby, it freezes them. And it's just
Yeah.
me, the logical person, just goes like, if the baby is the truly dangerous thing.
that's
Just
why we
strap it
learn
to
this
the end
stuff,
of a
folks.
stick and go.
I mean, I think I'm immune to
Right,
that if for
use
no
a
other
stick.
reason than the fact that I don't like babies. Ugh.
Well, lesson
Baby
learned.
little buggers.
That's why we do these monster casts. So if you're ever stranded in the snow and you hear a baby or see a little kid, don't touch it. If you want to try to help, lead it away somewhere or use a stick, but do not touch it. There we go.
Or blow
Use
it.
a stick
Listen
to
up to
And
blow.
if you want
Poke it with a stick.
if you want a powerful weapon, stab it with a stick and use it as a weapon of mass frost magic
Wow,
stuff.
remind me of never, ever, ever trusting you with kids.
Well, that's
Could be
too
useful.
late. I'm
Oh,
Well, imagine a polar bear coming by. You just move this
and
thing
I
around
already
with a
learned
stick
how to
and
weaponize my nephew by getting.
oh no. Oh yes, give him Legos, but please.
So, quick question for everybody that I think is relevant here. It's a common question. I'm sure we've explored it in the
Discussed.
past, and a lot of people tend to edge toward one side of it. The question is, how would you rather die then? By being frozen, or by being, let's say, melted? Instead of saying burned alive, let's say melted
Whatever's
or frozen.
less painful. I mean, whatever's less
Frozen is less pain.
I mean, that
Whatever
is.
painful, I would guess that being frozen would probably be less painful.
I've seen the movie. I would rather be molten.
You've seen what?
The movie Frozen.
And so which one do you choose?
Molten, because I can't be
Molten.
worse than that movie.
Alrighty. So we got most for frozen, one for melted. I used to think like burned when that was an option because usually you'd pass out from the smoke first. You'd lose oxygen, so you wouldn't suffer hopefully too much of the pain.
I mean, there's a difference between dying in a fire in a house with a lot of
Yeah.
smoke inhalation and being.
And being melted on an iron.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, griddled. Hey, have I told you
Right.
about the patron saint of firefighters and cooks?
Maurice says frozen. No, you haven't. I don't think
Oh
so.
well, he was basically grilled to death, and every once in a while his executioners had to flip him over to make sure he burned good on both sides. Apparently,
Who was
And
this?
who he was.
before he died, he was joking with his executioners. What a
Wait,
way
who are you talking about?
The patron saint of firefighters and cooks.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Sounds similar to the guy that made the torture device with the bull. Anyway, let's move on. We're getting into dark thoughts here. So we had the Yule Cat and what did we just discuss? Ah, yes, Yukiona, the freezer woman. And she has to be attractive, right? They always have to be attractive. I want to run into one that's just ghastly ugly. That'll be fun.
wow, you really. You okay?
You're really.
You really do have your priorities straight, man.
I mean, run into in a discussion, not literally. Literally, I'd avoid both. So, Beth.
Literally.
Wait, where did Beth go? She disappeared. I hear Boggo talking though.
Maybe
Boggo,
she
Tired of
feels-
hearing-
on
I
Beth's behalf, Boggo, can you choose the next person to present?
And who on?
Beth and
Phoenix
Gargamel.
or Procrastinatron?
I haven't gone either, but I really don't have anything because winter monsters.
What did you
I
say
just want
first,
to talk
Boggo?
about how winters actually work.
Who did
how
you
we
say?
do-
Maybe
Well.
maybe you should go next, Arthur.
Boggo, who did you say first? Before Pro?
I said Darth Phoenix
Darth Phoenix.
because
That sounds good.
who better to go in winter than a Phoenix?
Mm.
That's cold, man.
Especially a Darth one. All right, Darth, you heard him.
He's warm. He can survive the winter.
Darth is typing
that's-
out a storm. All right, here we go. SCP. Excellent. We got an SCP. Thank you, Darth.
Oh boy, which SCP?
SCP-1529, Euclid, the King of the Mountain. This is kind of weird without Chris here. What? See, what the hell's wrong with Chris? Where is he? Okay, sorry.
I don't know. How we
Continue.
tagged him?
Yes, attack
I
him.
replaced.
Send a freezing baby at him. Okay,
no,
so...
I didn't mean a tag as...
Yes, Pro, thank you. Pro's on it. Pro's the man. That's why he's community manager.
What's
That's
Pro
the, that's the mundane name for it. He tagged him out. Okay, so Euclid, the King of the Mountain, is a humanoid entity that lives on Mount Everest, I believe that should be, and looks like a mountain climber. Ooh, interesting. Except the eyes, they have some demonic look to them. If humans are climbing Mount Everest, because it says Everest, he appears to them and they look into his eyes and they become paralyzed. Then he asks them if they want help getting out. Hold on there, Darth. So he paralyzes them, then asks them a question if they want help getting out of the snow or something. If the victim accepts the offer, then he kills them without pain. Okay, so if you say yes, he'll kill you without pain. Yes, I need help out of the snow. If they don't accept, he kills them painfully. Okay, so you guys want to accept. You want to accept it, which is tricky because when you're encountering that monster, you want to say, no, just leave me alone. If you do that, he's going to kill you painfully. Because either way, you're going to die. You're going to die. So just say, yes, please help me out. And he will help you out by killing you instantly.
Helping you out by killing you instantly?
Kills him painfully.
But wait, what if you just dodge the question entirely and try and strike?
Well, that's one of the options.
Maybe
You can
just
try to free yourself by saying no, and while he gets ready to kill you, and then you can attack him and find a way to escape. So you have that little bit of chance. So if you're feeling brave or your life really depends on it, depends on life itself, you can try to say no and battle it out, but the chances are small. So, quick death, painful death, or struggle, think you're going to do something and die painfully. Or possibly, let's say, 5% chance you get away. But how the hell do you get away in an environment like that from an entity that thrives in it? Fun. Welcome, Louis. We're discussing SCP-1529, this entity that looks like a mountain climber, but paralyzes you. And the next one Darth mentioned is SCP-4666, the Yule Man. Not the Yule Cat, the Yule Man. Keter is something of a twisted Santa Claus because it kills a child's parents and then gives a present to the child, and he only can appear on snow. What's in the present? What kind of present? I am curious. So kills the parents and gives a present to the child. That's beautiful. So he takes something away from you, but he gives something back. Not the worst monster we've had. What do you guys think?
The Yule Cat's master.
Well, the fact he kills
Right.
your parents makes him pretty bad. I mean,
Yeah, right. But he gives
I don't
something
think
back,
we have-
Gargamel. But he gives
Say
you a
that.
lollipop.
you gave me $1 million. If you murdered my mom and dad, and you gave me $1 million, I'd still say, I hate you because you murdered my mom and dad.
But
Maybe
he
just
kills
me,
your parents
but
and he
if I
gives you a
had-
lollipop. What's that?
Hey,
See?
wait. Not everyone would think of the death of their parents as such a bad thing.
Yeah, I was about to say
Sometimes they'll
that.
be helping a kid out about getting them out of a horrible thing, or
And also, you're a little
they
kid, your
might have a
parents are
parent
dead.
that's just
You're now an orphan.
Was
There are
Batman
worse.
truly assaulted by a Yule Man? No, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, I guess it's not as bad as a dentist that would pull out all your teeth and give you a lollipop. I mean, it's worse.
A dentist that would give you a lollipop. Oh yeah, that's much worse than someone murdering your mom and dad.
Yeah. I need to be clear about my expressions here. Yikes. Who needs those stupid parents anyway, Dio says. Oh, goodness. Well. Interesting point of views here. I'm thinking a lot of people don't fully appreciate their parents here. I know there's shitty ones out there, and there's shitty aspects to them. But, you guys are here, and you're doing all right. I don't think they're too bad, as you're hinting here. Anyway, does the Yule Man kill evil
Are you
parents?
saying that I don't appreciate my parents? I appreciate them. I was just saying that there are some people who would have more reason to just be jubilant rather than bittersweet about.
Especially if the gift is, like you said, $1 million. Then some people that
I would
have
be
really
angry.
twisted parents and
I would
$2
not be
million bucks.
jubilant. I would be
Yeah.
angry.
Yeah.
Because it's not. It would. You can't pay me to say it's okay
Yeah.
to take the lives of my loved one.
And remember, this is when you're a child. So this is when you're dependent on your parents. This is when it kills it. It doesn't kill it when you're in your 30s or 40s or 20s and you're independent more. It kills it when you're a child. So that's a lot more
Which makes it
great.
even worse.
Yes. Louis, I think it kills any parents it encounters. I'd have to dig deeper into it because Louis asked if it
Good
only
thing I
if it kills
intend to
evil
be
parents.
single for all of my years.
My parents are great, Maurice
Yeah,
says.
and also it's a good
Cool.
thing you were Necron Z because I don't think this thing would be able to kill you because you're a robot.
Yes, robots do not get children.
Yeah,
Well-
and you basically rip it in two. I'm certain you'd be able to do that.
Problem with Z is he would just get slowed down over there, probably frozen, and wait until winter passes.
Do Necrons freeze? I don't think
Yeah.
Necrons freeze.
Necrons can
They're
freeze
Warhammer,
solid.
so okay, they can
I
apparently.
mean, they're not, they're still metal, so.
They're so metal.
Yeah, you can freeze anything if you
Even fire. All right, Louis says, example, as people go who kidnapped a child and raised it as their own. So really, they aren't the real parent. Oh, so maybe adopted parents. Interesting.
I'm adopted.
I would say, right. I would say then, yes. I would say at that point what the child considers the parents, and I think this monster wouldn't be that deeply ingrained with blood, but it could be, who knows. So it depends on the SCP's creator, if they believe or they created it to be so in tune with your bloodline that that's a part of it, or that it just kills off whoever the main couple guardians are. I mean, what if it's a gay couple or a lesbian couple, Such deep questions here at the
Lots
Monsterhood.
of circumstances that this monster never would understand.
I love this. Love it. All right.
It's a feral child that's been fuck.
Very much.
It's a failed child. It doesn't have. Chances are it doesn't have any human parents. So at least the human parents didn't take very good care of it, and they just let him go.
So
Yeah,
Like,
but what
by
if they were
wolves.
like raised as part of a herd of?
Chris is here. Welcome.
As,
I mean, a pack,
yes,
like a wolf pack. I don't think herds normally, like herd animals normally take care of people. I think the few cases where there are animals that take care of human beings, they're either other primates or they're wolves.
haven't you heard of the gazelle?
No, I have not.
Basically, it was this boy that ran around with a bunch of gazelles and was basically a part of their herd.
That's
And-
strange because I didn't hear about that. I didn't know that was a thing.
Fucking vegan.
So, see,
God dang it, Chris.
Pro had a message to you. He said, when mommy computer and daddy computer love each other very much, they start sending and receiving data. Sometimes this data can
I'm having
become
a
corrupt
case of a ghost toilet. I will be right back.
and turn into its own thing. There. That's the message from Pro to Yuzi. All right, guys, let's move on. That was Darth. Darth, can you choose the next person to present, please? Gargamel, Beth, and Darth have already gone.
Beth is also not even here right now, so
Proster.
you couldn't pick her anyway.
Yeah. Well, she already went. Points to who brought in the Yule Man. I'm gonna be checking. Yeah, the Yule Man's pretty cool. The Yule Man is pretty
Yule
cool.
Man versus Yule Cat. That
like
would
the
be
design.
that could be the sequel to the Yule Cat movie.
Yule Man wearing bad clothing would definitely put the Yule Cat at an advantage.
Hmm.
The ghost toilet has
Right,
been
right.
tamed
The Yule
for
Man
now.
is naked. That's true. Wait, what?
The Yule Man SCP. That is one of the SCPs that I want to murder most.
Why?
fuck
I
that
do
guy.
intend to go to Mount Everest to not get stuck.
Because fuck that guy.
Yeah, the guy kills your parents. I don't.
You want to fuck him?
I would not appreciate that, no matter how good the gift he gave me.
No, he kills the family except
What-
for one child, then kidnaps the child and uses it as slave labor to make toys out of other children he has kidnapped that can no longer make toys.
So this thing's even worse.
So there's another part
Yes.
of it. Child labor. Now this is
He
serious.
Basically, it kills the entire family except for one child, which he kidnaps to his quote-unquote workshop, and there he is forcing them into slave labor to make toys out of the body parts of other children and
No,
various
this would be a
miscellaneous
terrifying
items.
horror movie.
Fun.
And the
Remind me of old Nick from Team Fortress.
Yeah, I'm not sure if whatchamacallit, Dark Phonics mentioned that one case. A child was actually rescued because she was made into a pseudo doll and was left as a gift.
Oh, so that kind of gift.
She had her eyes gouged out and replaced with shiny
I see.
stones.
So
and
he's
various
creative with
cups
his
of fruit.
gifts. That makes it a little better.
No, no.
All right, guys,
Yeah,
moving on.
creative, but in a ghastly way.
Yes.
I don't think that makes it better.
I like it. I like it as a monster. Too bad it's an SCP because, yeah. But if it were more than an SCP, this one would be, yeah, pretty awesome to go in depth on and explore the history of it. But since it's somebody's recent writing, it's not, doesn't have that great of a history other than possible influence. Anyway, Pro mentioned his monster. For all you werewolf fans out there, it's the Ulfhedin. Ulfhedin.
The what? Sorry, could you repeat that also?
It's Ulfhedin. Ulfhedin. Ulfhedin.
And what is that exactly?
And that is, okay, so what is it?
Werewolf?
It's from The Witcher 3 video game. And that's what Pro says.
TV series
Ulfhedin.
and book series.
Pro said, so there's a quote that Pro wrote. Wolfhedin, what's that? Some kind of fish? That's what Professor Artrobus Joannes Rack, geographer, said disappeared after a surveying expedition. Is that in Witcher? Would they put such a long name in Witcher? Artibus? I mean, not the long... Okay, whatever. So what it is it's a breed of werewolf found mainly in Skellig. The harsh and barren conditions of the Isles might explain why they primarily hunt men and are stronger than their continental brethren. Older and particularly dangerous Ulfhedin are called Olorefs. Only a few daring warriors in Skellig history have managed to defeat the Ulfhedin, and each of them is commemorated in the ballads as hero to this day. Like werewolf, it's active at night, particularly when the moon is at its fullest. Fast and strong, amazingly resilient. these creatures kill with disturbing ease. Silver blades should be brought against them. As should Devil's Puffball. I assume that's an herb. Take note that when near death, the Illidan becomes particularly dangerous and will attack with doubled fury, while calling on wolves to come to its rescue. Awesome. So it can call in the wolves. Man, I'd love to see that in a werewolf movie. A werewolf, but also with the power
like to be hunted by both wolves and werewolves. That is like the worst possible thing.
I just love to see, because you always have this werewolf howling, and as you know, or you should know if by this point, when wolves howl, it gives them away. So they definitely wouldn't do that for that reason, although they do that for territorial, which is a sort of giving away. But it'd be awesome to see a werewolf howling in a movie with that cool howling moment, but also have more purpose to it, like calling in more wolves. That would be pretty neat. Anyway, I have a question for you, Pro, because I have not seen that in the game, and I don't see many images of it in the game. So is this from more of the novel, or is it actually featured within the game? Well, yeah, because both of these look like concept arts, but not screenshot. So it is in the game. Why can't we find more screenshots of it? Because the only werewolf I knew about in the game was the one that's in one of the stories where the guy turns into a werewolf. When I was searching for werewolf transformations, I couldn't find anything in the game, so maybe there's no transformations, but there's a lot of werewolves, so I'm not sure. Anybody have any more info on that?
I haven't played with.
You only fight against two.
I hear a lot of good things about it.
You gotta have time for it, like any good thing. Okay, so there's a screenshot. Damn, so that hair really looks like that in the game. That's awesome. That's a cool werewolf to encounter. It's definitely different. That'd be pretty wild, that jumping out in your face. All right, guys, what are your thoughts?
It's a neat little thing, I must admit.
Looks like an evil hedgehog.
like a hedgehog? Like a were-hedgehog?
How exactly is this thing associated with the winter, though, or the cold?
Because it thrives in the cold regions, which is Skellig.
It flies in the snow?
Yeah. In the northern parts of that fake continent. I assume north, but at least the colder parts.
Oh.
I wonder if it would
make sense then.
I wonder if the fur would turn white during the winter there. That's always a cool feature of animals. Adaptation. Skellig is basically Scandinavia. Yeah, that's what I figured, looking at the wording and pronunciations there, Lithid said. Makes sense. I want to get bitten by it. There goes Pro.
Yeah, I think a lot of the...
one of the more common comments. Sorry, Gargamel?
The creatures from the Witcher's games and novels and series, from what I understand, are from Scandinavian folklore.
Eastern European.
I thought it was
Yes.
Slavic folklore? Yeah.
Yes.
Alrighty, well there we have it. Not much else to discuss. Looks like a raging, pretty cool werewolf. I like that the lower, most of its body area seems to be lacking in much hair, which doesn't make sense for where it lives, although there might be magic involved. But then it's got this serious mane. We see werewolves with manes, but I don't think I've seen many werewolves with this level of mane contrast. With such a heavy mane.
Maybe it's got such high metabolism that it doesn't have to worry about the cold. It doesn't have to worry about the cold that way because its body temperature is so high.
Yeah.
That it's that it could be more likely to die from being maybe overheated.
Nice.
Than freezing to death, and so it has to do some stuff to cool off, even when it's cold outside sometimes because its body temperature is so high.
Right. Nice. Good job, Gargi. I could definitely see that, especially looking at how lean it is. It's not like this fat, bulky thing, so like that even makes even more sense with its structure. Possibly. Okay, cool. All right, that was our buddy Pro. Pro, call out the next presenter. Cool, we got a nice pack of people here. Like I was saying, that's one of the most common comments I get under werewolf videos, Pro. I want to be bitten by a werewolf. And then there's always a reply, well, I want to be bitten by a werewolf, but one that I can control the transformation. Or I want to be born a werewolf, so there's always that.
Benefit.
Just
I
all
want to
depends
kill a
on the
werewolf.
lore.
Meanwhile, you're just like, bitch.
I'm just glad werewolves don't exist in the real world.
Thank the shard
Yes.
for that. Yes, please. Silver would be out of stock.
Okay, Bog, it's your turn.
Well,
Pro
silver
called you
bullets
out.
are actually, believe it or not, less accurate than regular bullets.
Shush you, but we're just going to stab them with a silvery blade.
Silver is a soft metal, so it doesn't make for good swords. Now, you
Silver
can,
tipped.
you could like spray silver on top of a.
Oh,
A
like
were polar
mix them
bear.
into a powder and spray it at it
What a
like bad
thought.
dog.
That is.
All right, guys.
That is an actual idea.
For the
I
moment.
was thinking more wolves bane, but yeah. Just dip your bullets and swords and stabby things in wolfbane juice, and then, you know.
All right, Bago, what's your winter scary monster? Thank you, Pro, for choosing definitely a scary one. We haven't been talking about the scary
Well,
factor.
It is definitely scary. It's definitely a scary monster.
Go ahead, Bago. Baga's down.
Normally I would have had more time to...
Okay.
No worry. I come in completely unprepared with my sheer knowledge of things that are scary to... This case, I'm kind of blank, but I got an idea this time.
Well, do you have anything, Bog, or do you want to pass?
Can you come back?
Okay.
Should I go next?
Yes,
'Cause I
go
have
ahead,
this
C.
theory
Yeah.
that I want to talk about. Okay, since this is kind of a weird one because it's not as much a winter monster as it is a monster in general. Some people would just say it's an animal, but to me, a wolf is a monster. They are intelligent, they are pack hunters, and they are most certainly also active in winter, mostly due to their natural habitats, are also prone to being very cold. So,
True, it is.
I know
It is
this
cold
is
here.
not an actual supernatural monster that you cannot kill, you cannot see, you cannot murder. But, hey, this wolves, Fallen Test, you know what a wolf is, you know how they hunt in packs. Very scary. Last thing I want to be is in a dark forest filled with knee-high snow and having this pack of monsters hunting me for all intents and purposes. Because I'm slower than them and they're hungry. Either that or they're just...
So what are you talking about, Z?
I'm talking about wolves.
Just wolves in general. Okay.
Well, I mean, not all wolves are dangerously ferocious beasts and animals that will kill you instantly. But I'm just saying that being hunted by such creatures of such magnificence would be rather scary.
Also, a rabid wolf, like a wolf that has like rabies, would be pretty scary too.
Oh, thank
Maybe
you
in
for
most
reminding
cases,
me
to
about
To be
that
fair,
also
anything
existing.
with rabies.
And
True.
Anything with rabies is...
Thank you for reminding me of the possibility of getting rabies by being bit by one of these beasts. Thank you.
And just as in people, you
Rabies
will
and
find different characters among animals too. So you will sometimes get this one that's just more ferocious. As an example, if you guys watch The Grizzly Man, who hung out around the grizzlies and eventually he got killed and eaten, and so did his girlfriend. I mean, killed and eaten by this one that was always kind of mean. So yeah, keep in mind there's always exceptions even in character. Just as we have with people. People tend to forget that. They think every animal is the same or same character and such. See, have you spent any time ever around wolves?
No, but I have a dog. Oh, a little bug kind of count. It's not. It's nowhere near the full majesty of a dog, but hey, of a wolf, but hey.
Over here, I missed
They're wild creatures after all. Monstrous.
I missed the I missed the chance here in Colorado in the Springs. There's a wolf. What is it? A rescue, I think, or a sanctuary. I believe, yeah. And you can go there and you can sit among them. They run around you. They come up to you, sniff you. You know, they're pretty decently tamed. As wolves often are. They're actually not that ferocious comparing to a lot of other animals, but they are predators after all, and for life they kill. That's just a simple thing we have to keep in mind. But
for life they kill.
For life they kill. Yeah. That's something we never think about. That's just part of who they are. But it's pretty cool, and I missed that opportunity. Maybe I'll head down there sometime and do that. Maybe I'd vlog it too. I think that'd be really cool. So. Anyway, if you guys have such opportunities,
have a wolf
as a pet,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'd go over and brush her sometimes.
Nice.
And man, she had a lot of fur because she was one of the more cold weather types of wolf, more northern.
Oh, really? So even more than a regular one. That's nuts. I had a German Shepherd before, so I know.
And she just loved sitting in the sun, though.
I mean, I'm not saying that all creatures born of wolves are evil and monstrous. I'm saying that the possibility of being hunted in a dark forest with the possibilities, I don't know where this nightmare scenario comes from, but I'm fairly certain it comes from somewhere, a movie of some kind, of which I'm only vaguely aware of.
Pro says he went to
playing Dark Souls.
Pro said he went to a wolf sanctuary once. He said the first thing that caught his attention was how big they were.
Yeah, the doggos are big.
They're good size. Pro, tell us more about your experience, if you may. Were you able to touch them and such? They're definitely easier to handle if the shit goes down than large felines. If large felines kind of their mood starts to shift, they're really tough to deal with. Arthur the Wolf Spur. Thank you, JMPF. The descendants of wolves. I'm a survivor. Arthur had to become a wolf since he failed. Cyclops Whisperer test. That's a tough one, believe me. So anyway, if you guys have a sanctuary nearby or rescue, I always recommend that you Google it, look it up on the maps, and go visit it, Give it some of your time. There'll probably be donation things everywhere, so get a couple dollars ready, or currency, but it's all about the experience, too. Vlog it, too. Vlog it. You guys all have videos. At least you can make crappy videos on your phones or whatever. Vlog it and share it over here. I'll put it on this channel, on this Voices of the Monsterhood channel that we're on right now. Okay, let's move on. So that was, who was the last one? That was still Pro? Didn't we call the next person already? Pro, did you not call the next person to go yet? He says, who did you call? He says they were essentially big dogs. I remember one couldn't digest red meat. Most of them were rescued from illegal traffickers. Oh, that's sad. Also lots of howling. I mean, it's less sad when you found it.
They got saved.
Yes, but that it happens.
Right. Because it's less sad if you find it damaged by nature. Something happened to it and you just find it with a broken leg. But if you find it from traffickers, that's heartbreaking. It's great that it got rescued, but just imagine how many don't. Also lots of howling. Cool. You experience real life howling. Boggo again. Pro, you called out Boggo. So back at you, Boggo. Oh, wait, it was C last, wasn't it? Yeah, C was the last one.
I said to come back to me, not come right back at me when we talked about wolves.
Sorry, I made a mistake. C was the last one, so C, choose the next person to present.
Oh, who's left? Who's left?
We have Bog wants to wait a little bit. We have Illithid Sid that's ready. I don't know if ready, but available. JMPF is available, Chris is available, and
Yep.
Uruhara.
Well, Chris, tell me about your monster. I would like to hear about this kind of furry rat that stalks the winter with warpstone
Nice.
talent. Oh, never mind.
See, while I would love to, I actually had, at the beginning, I had no idea what kind of monster to talk about.
Oh.
But then as you said wolves, I was actually reminded of something from my childhood.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
So as a kid on Fox Kids, I used to watch this one cartoon called Nanook the Great Hunter, which followed the story of an Eskimo guy called Nanook, who's a young lad, and he would hunt stuff. It was pretty entertaining to watch. I have no idea what the actual story was about it. I just remember it's him hunting, and his quote-unquote arch nemesis was a giant polar bear called Slok Nanok, if I recall the name correctly.
Well,
Nice.
And it was the monster of the north, basically. Even whales ran from that thing. And
how can a whale run from?
Swam.
well, swam away, I suppose. Because it was a huge burn. It was Nanook's arch enemy, basically. It had trashed his village, if I recall correctly, so he was out on a personal vendetta to get him. But the bear was also aware of him and would sometimes hunt him in return, so it was a back and forth between the two of them. And I've been trying to find an actual image of the bear, but when looking at the when looking up the cartoon, fuck, that didn't sound correctly. I'm only able to actually find pictures from the cartoon of the main characters. There's no shots of the bear itself, so this is Nanook.
I think it looks oddly familiar, so I wouldn't say it's alien to me.
So it's a polar bear.
Yeah, and this is him and his brother or best friend, I believe, is this precisely. And so he had himself a pack of dogs, but it's a pretty dope show. But I'm not able to find any renditions of the actual show of the bear, but I'm pretty sure this comes up as a fan art of it. I'm pretty sure. I think that is what it represents.
I mean, it's a giant bear.
That is
You could try
also
YouTube.
it's a rather nasty bugger because despite the people up there up north trying to live together in harmony with nature, it just hates humans and wants to wreck their shit. So it is a cruel bear. Rather racist, if you would, I would even dare to say so myself. Indeed, it is a forbearing task for Nanook to overcome.
That. Bear your weapons. Don't bear to attempt to destroy it.
If you can't bear the weight of fire that I can output, you shouldn't bring stuff like that into that.
Oh, no. Go on.
See, just use your bare hands against him.
Z, that is a very paw-ling thing to do.
Absolutely unbearable.
A
And
vicious
polarizing.
and borderline racist giant bear that hates humanity and eats whales.
Nice. I like it.
And that's all that I vaguely remember from the cartoon itself.
Sounds like a whale of...
What's the name of the cartoon again?
Nanook the Legendary Hunter.
Nice.
That's how. Let's see. That's how it's said in Bulgarian. I'm just doing a direct translation. I don't know if it's spelled the same.
I'm assuming, just looking at the animation style or drawing, it looks like it would be an American production. I'm not sure though.
Possibly French, because it was airing around the same time as the French cartoon Chris Color.
Cool. Shout out to Asterix and Obelix. I should make a video dedicated to Obelix.
A pure monster of a man.
Yeah, so awesome.
Obelix is adorable.
Something so many Americans missed out on. Everybody's all about Marvel, Dragon Ball Z, but what about Obelix? He would collect their helmets.
Yeah, I don't even know what Obelix is.
I mean,
What a name.
how do you explain that Obelix to an unbeliever?
An Obelix. It's just a big guy that drank too much
Magical
No,
potion.
he fell.
Yeah.
He didn't
He
drink
fell.
it. He fell in the pot as a child.
As a result,
That makes
he drank
even
too
more
much.
sense.
In fact, he drank the entire pot.
That makes even
He
more
was bathed
sense.
in it, really. So it literally the magical potion got absorbed by his body from
Yeah.
all sides.
Yeah, I forgot that part because that makes sense. If he just swallowed it, then yeah, it would just move through him and like the usual moments. But because it was absorbed, that's why it's with him always. Okay, that was a big distraction. I want to mention something Louis said that's funny over on YouTube. He said, "Here is a joke, Winter Monster. It makes your good parents disappear, and you have no choice but to accept it and smile, while inside you are sad and angry." Do you guys know what it is?
Work? Christmas?
I'm talking about the merciless Xmas sweater. Christmas sweater. Do any of you here have one of those very whatever Christmas sweaters? I forgot the word. Very festive sweater. Nobody here has one?
No.
I'm thinking I'll get one, but I'll get one with, that edge. Like they make it looks really with that annoying kind of look, but then they put like a xenomorph on it. There's ones like that out there. So I'm thinking I'll get something like that because my mom always says I should dress up for Christmas when I visit them. And I don't because I know she's going to ask me to. That's how bad of a child I am. But I think it'd be great to just get one of those. And when she asks me to dress up more festive, I'll wear that. Or with some crazy World of Monsters logo that we'll come up with. Maybe we'll come up with one on our channel for all those people that are forced to wear something festive. We can give them something World of Monsters festive. Note it down, pro.
With a Santa hat.
Santa hat. Actually, yeah, I should just dress how I dress and put on a Santa hat. That's a good idea. Thank you, JMPF. Except a monstrous one, like the Harry Potter wizard hat. So a Santa hat with a mouth on it and eyes. Ooh, that'd be great. All right, we're going to have to design it away. Pro, take notes. Monstrous Santa hat. All right, carrying on. Thank you, Chris. I rather enjoy that one. So that's kind of 2 monstrous animals in a row. Chris, who do you choose to speak next? We have who's available? We have Sid, JMPF still, Dio, which is Kisuke, and Bago, maybe.
I'm gonna find the name of the monster that I wanted to.
I'm gonna be going, guys. I'll see you guys later, okay?
See you, Gargamel. Thanks for the monster.
Bye. Have a nice day.
You too.
Bye.
So I believe you said Dio, right, Chris?
Yep.
All right, Dio. Urahara. I want to use bug spray. Well, you'd have to use bugbear spray.
Horrible.
That's awesome. They should. Bago, since you're probably the deepest in the D&D here, I want you to create bugbear spray, and have it as an item in the shops when you're DMing.
Bugbear spray.
Okay.
Yay.
I'm going to use this in my campaign eventually.
Bugbear spray. That's such
It's just bear spray, but
yeah. It's so demeaning. Because you can essentially use it on any monster like goblins and such, but it's called bugbear spray. It's so racist.
I mean, they are just big goblinoids. So
What a weapon that is,
use
though.
it on whatever
Right. Yeah, that's something I recommend for everybody
Make a item
as a defense.
that allows you to spray holy water on.
Oh boy, holy water! Yeah, werewolf spray,
just-
nice, or something, demon spray.
Just spray it right in the face of.
Their compilation of senses. Yeah, I always recommend sprays, pepper sprays or whatever you guys have around you. Get some of that. If you guys don't carry guns, knives, or whatever as a form of defense, those sprays are awesome. They're so powerful. It's not just that they burn your mouth and eyes, but your nasal cavity is struck so hard by them. It's such a powerful fume that these produce. And if you got bear spray,
walking sticks that have a taser.
or taser, but if you have bear spray, it's like 5 times the effect. It just shoots further, a bigger cloud. It might affect you a little bit. So if you're in a little room, you don't want to use bear spray because it'll definitely affect you too. But yeah, if you got somebody trying to, I don't know, attack you or come to your car and kill you or rob you, just use some spray or bear spray. You will knock the shit out of them. What's that?
When did we get Ura?
We get Buddha? I don't know what that means.
You all need Buddha in your life.
Yes. Once you spray them, you get Buddha. That's apparently what happens. Bago's not saying anything, and we've totally misinterpreted him. Fun.
Probably.
Bago, 2020. You get Buddha after you spray. There we go. That's his quote of the year. I wanted to mention, guys, the last episode was the Monsters of the Decade. I felt it was a little bit lame. And I feel it was on my behalf too. I wasn't too prepared for that episode because that's a lot of stuff for 10 years. Yeah, it was, I guess, after a break, but I felt that episode just, it was more epic. I mean, 10 years, we could have covered some serious stuff. And again, I wasn't prepared for it. I think a lot of us weren't, but I was just thinking about that because there's a lot of stuff I didn't even think about, that happened in the last 10 years. That's a long time. Anyway, just wanted to mention that because I was thinking about it. Make the spray out of...
Gosh, I was still an ankle biter 10 years.
Yeah, that's the problem with you guys, with a lot of you here 10 years ago, or like the prior decade wasn't anything or that much of a deal because you're still in school and all that, and life is pretty somewhat similar in its nature. But you'll see this decade that you're in now, 10 years from now, when we'll be talking here, maybe, you're going to have an interesting decade. You'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, Dio. Dio finally mentioned something. I know he had problems. I could mention the monster from Frozen. Okay, so I guess he mentions the monster from Frozen. I'm going to Google monster from Frozen. I haven't seen the new Frozen movie. Have you guys seen the new one?
I'm fairly certain the little snowman, true villain behind everything.
There's a cooler one. Have you guys seen the new one? Nope. I want to. It's a little bit more of a kiddish CGI movie, but they're well done. There we go. Look at that one, guys. It's definitely...
That's the big snow.
You can tell he brushes it.
A nice snow monster, if you've ever seen one. Oh boy, not sure why that came up. John would be happy. Anyway, I like his little transformation here. I don't remember that in the movie, so check it out. First, he looks like this. Damn it. Come on now. Stupid Discord. How the hell... Okay, there we go. First, he looks like that. And then, well, he looks like the above image, but to make it a better sync. There you go. Isn't that fun? Reminds me of Heroes of Might and Magic. The upgraded version and the upgraded. We haven't mentioned that game in a long time, so had to do it.
You had to. That's true.
It is our first Monstercast of the year, so shout out to Obelix and Heroes of Might and Magic. There we go. That design screams level 15 Ice Golem in a generic fantasy MMO. Right? It does. I hear you, pro. Nice description there. I'll give you a watermelon for that. You're trying to be edgy. There you go, pro. Fits your age. There. Happy?
Big bro pro.
Yeah, you proster. You Okay. So...
He's acting like such a...
That went south suddenly.
Right. Quickly. That's how things go here. Thank you, Dio, for mentioning that.
north?
Remember, you don't need to go too in depth. All right, Dio. Dio, are you listening? Monsterhood to Dio. Please mention the next person to present. The people that are left, we're going rather smooth today, are JMPF, BPF, Illithid Sid, and Bago. Who do you choose, Dio? Dioster. That's Pro's new face. Well, you know what, Pro? In reply to that face, I'm going to reply with this. My original emoji creation. That's what you get, Pro. Totally my original. No, that used to be Pro's very common thing. The one I like is this one. Yeah. All right, here we go. Your original. Who did he choose? Are you still... Okay, so Bago, it's back to you. Are you ready, Bog? Master B?
Never. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the name of the giant, but I can't for the life of me remember what sort of Native American myth. You see, there was a book that I read a very long time.
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wasn't pressing push to talk, was I? What was the last?
There was a book you can remember for a very long time ago.
There was a book that I read a very long time ago that has a story about a giant and a woman. The woman was fleeing from her husband who had been plotting to kill her or something like that. And eventually she was freezing in this strange forest where all these trees were like, they didn't have any branches. And eventually she heard something, and it ended up being this massive giant that asked her what she was doing there on his chest. And she was like, I'm hiding from my husband. And he's like, okay, what's wrong? Sort of thing. So she tells him of her woes, and they basically become friends, and she cuts some of his chest hair for kindling to burn on as a fire, and
Smelly
basically
fire.
they were living all nice and dandy. And at one point, the husband comes to try and take her away, and the giant just blows him away, literally.
Oh, my
And-
Americanism was just going to go off for a moment there when I heard blow, and I thought of it.
Yes,
You
when
know.
you said blows him away literally, still, what the hell do you mean exactly?
I
Gamer
think he
Well,
blows on him as in, what's it called?
Like,
Chris is enjoying
he
it.
pursed his lips
Like a
and exhaled air in the direction of this man, and he blows him off into the sky. Probably dead. Doesn't screw with the lady anymore. Anyways,
All this screwing and blowing. Damn it, Bog, can you get to the point?
the giant. That's the monster that I'm talking about. The giant.
Right. What does it look like? Do you have...
It's a winter giant. It's like all covered in snow and shit. I told you that.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right. Any images?
I was at the point.
What is the name of it? How can we Google it?
I don't know. Like I said,
He
I can't
doesn't know
remember
where
the
it
name.
was from.
You know nothing,
Yeah.
Jon Snow.
All I know is it's from one of the immense amount of myths from Native American and Inuit storytelling.
Cool.
I was trying to find it, and that's why I was stopped.
Okay. Considering it's from Native American mythology, I'd assume it just looks like a very humanoid giant.
Yeah, it was just a really big person.
Yeah.
So big that she thought his chest hair was a tree.
Nice.
We
Covered in
could
snow.
ask a Yuri Nices.
That's pretty original.
Yeah, he just laying on his back, chilling.
Damn.
Eventually,
Now that's a giant. Eventually, what?
Eventually, this lady has a son, and when her son is grown, he gets in trouble with some other person, and he flees for his life and meets this giant that she sent him to, if he ever needed safe haven. And well, the giant told him his one rule of just don't climb up near my head or anything. Guy doesn't listen, and he crawls up to like where his beard is, and he gets
Nice.
I don't know what the moral of the story is.
Listen to
Right.
your elders.
They're your giant elders.
Be careful whose chest hair you pluck.
Just listen to the giant when it tells you not to climb up.
There you go. Bog, with your referencing to this giant, how tall would you estimate it to be, to give us an idea?
Seeing as giants, most giants in Native American folklore are depicted as 40 to 60 feet tall, but this one must have been around the size of
A
like
small
a
city.
mountain almost. If its chest hair was the size of trees, and could be mistaken as a forest with no branches.
Gotcha. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. All right, thank you, Bago. Anybody have any thoughts about burning giant chest hair?
It's pretty cool.
Thank you for bearing
That wasn't
the
supposed to be
idea.
a pun.
It's a pretty cool
That
what?
wasn't supposed to be a pun, I swear.
What did you say, though?
I think it was just a huge mistake.
All right, Bago. Choose the next person to present. I think we have Sid and JMPF left. I'll present on behalf of Louis.
You know, I'm not a big fan of Sid's, so I'm gonna have to go with the other person. Sorry for the horrible joke.
All right, then JMPF. 'Tis your turn now. JMPF's going to give us something good. I think I had one, that ring crawler, somebody mentioned to me before too. So, let's see. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Now we're talking. Very wormy. All right, JMPF.
I think you need to have your definition of future.
JMPF says, Rilim, Shikorth, the white worm. Oh, so cool. A gigantic pale white worm with a great gaping maw and empty sockets for eyes that bleed rivers of blood continuously. Wow, how disgusting and wonderfully aesthetic, I must say myself. A white worm with bleeding red eyes. The white worm was active during the Hyperborean age. It travels on a gigantic iceberg called Yikilt, which it can guide across the ocean. Aw, what a clever worm. In its colossal ice citadel...
Well, I'll be back, guys. I need to point a shotgun at it.
Go ahead.
Oh.
The white worm prowls the seas, blasting ships and inhabited land masses with extreme cold. Victims of the white worm are frozen solid, their bodies appearing eerily white and remain preternaturally cold. They will not melt nor warm even when exposed to fire. Oh, that's crazy. I love that detail. So they can become eternally frozen. Nothing can unfreeze or melt them, or probably even break them. My question is, how does it freeze the people, though? Is it some kind of cold air that comes out of its mouth? Is it contact? Is it the blood?
It's
And where
like
the
a
hell is this
light.
from? Say that again, JMPF?
It's like a light, but when it touches you, you get frozen.
It's a light. And where does the light come from? The mouth?
From the iceberg.
From the
It
iceberg?
surrounds the iceberg. It's like an aura.
Oh, so it's like a field, like a force field kind of thing. So the iceberg kind of glows and it releases this power, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. So it uses the iceberg as part of its power. It's almost like the iceberg is its staff or a wand. Magical, crazy-looking worm. My main question is, where the hell is this from, JMPF? I'm loving the lore. Where does it stem from?
It's from a tale called The Coming of the Worm. It's by Clark Ashton Smith.
Okay, it's called Tale of the Coming Worm. Is that what he said?
The
I
Coming
heard
of
that.
the Worm.
Coming of the
The
Worm.
Coming of the Worm.
Let me Google that. That sounds really fascinating. So that's a story. Okay. Any thoughts, guys?
I mean, it's a giant worm that turns people into ice. What's not to love about it?
Everything
And
you just said.
So this, for some reason, this reminds me of something from Dune.
Go on. I'm curious.
Right, because of the
Just
big worm.
considering how in Dune the God Emperor is a worm thing. This kind of reminds me
Right.
of Dune.
Or something from Star Wars, although cooler. Let me see here. So, Eldritch Dark. So it is a short story by Clark Ashton, as JMPF said. An Eldritch kind of dark story. So it's I don't know, I'm intrigued. It's a little maybe Lovecraftian, but on a different edge of it all. And it's cold and...
It's related to Lovecraft.
It
It's not
is.
really Lovecraftian, but it's within the same universe.
Oh, okay. All right, so it's a kind of an addition. It's not canon, as we would say it, with Lovecraft lore, but kind of another writer's addition to the world. I could see that. It does have the water element still because the worm travels on an iceberg. Fun. I just love the constant blood flowing from its eyes. But I wonder what it feeds on. That isn't mentioned. Since the people are frozen and left behind, and it's constantly losing blood, how does it replenish itself? How does it
It
stay?
feeds on wizards. It saves wizards from the cold and forces them to worship it, but then it eats them.
So
So how
wizards.
do life?
Okay, so mages. That's awesome. So it doesn't quite freeze the mages. It saves them from the cold, and then it feeds on them. After having them worship it, it feeds on them. Cool. So it has, again, that deity aspect of it, which is Cthulhian too, quite a nature. Anyway, this seems like an awesome short story, guys. So once again, shout out to The Coming of the Worm. The Coming of the Worm. Don't get any thoughts, Pro. The Coming of the White Worm. Yeah, pretty awesome. I don't know. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. No, don't get the lycanthrope thing. Well, Pro, you just have another persona that reminded me of. But anyway, yeah. Who was that? That was JMPF. Before we go to the next one, I'm going to share on behalf of... Let me see. I think it was Rain Crawler. Let me
All
look
is well. What did I...
here. Crap. Taking too long. There we go. Sorry on behalf of Scott for exposing that. There we go. If you guys can look on YouTube, it'll probably be better. Okay, stop clowning around. The coming of the worm left. That's a pun in itself. Cool worm, though, says Louis. Okay, so Raincrawler mentioned Robot Santa Claus. Is this one? Yeah, and I think I got his troll one. Yeah. Raincrawler always has some good ones for us, too. So he said, Robot Santa Claus from Futurama. He judges extremely hard, so for him, everyone is naughty, and the punishment is not a piece of coal. The punishment is death. He rides on his robotic sleigh that is pulled by 2 robotic reindeers. Ready to murder everyone he considers naughty. But once he made an exception and gave a pogo stick to Dr. Zoidberg. And here's that Santa Claus, if you aren't following, so hold on. And Zoidberg with his pogo stick. How many people here have ridden a pogo stick before?
Unsuccessfully.
How many have more than 50 pokes of it? I'll just call them pokes. Okay, nobody knows the answer to that. I wonder if the snow graboids were based on this worm. Well, it depends how old that story is, Louis. I'm assuming that story is more modern. JMPF, if you know how old that story... Oh, I just found it. It's actually old, guys. It's from 1941. The Coming of the Worm is from 19... Goodness, I just... Yeah. Anyway, that title. It's from 1941. So it does have its age. So I definitely recommend that short story once again. Nice. I wonder if that guy knew Lovecraft then, or was friends with him, or what? Who this writer is?
They were friends.
They were friends.
They
Awesome.
were friends. Yes, even Lovecraft created a character based on Clark.
Oh. Really? Oh, was he named Clark in the book?
Clark Ashton.
Oh, I think... Yeah, I'm going to have to brush up on my knowledge on that, but that's pretty awesome. I think JMPF deserves some watermelons for that. That's pretty cool. Lovecraft had a friend, and he's just as twisted. Wonderful to know. Anyway, thank you, who was that? Raincrawler, for sharing this Santa Claus from Futurama. Has anybody seen this episode?
Yeah, it's a delightful episode.
Nice. Zoidberg looks so happy and content with his pogo stick. All right. Well, that's quite a scary, could be a very scary monster. Scary one from JMPF 2, forgot to mention. Not the one from Dio. Dio, you lost it on the scariness. Continuing. JMPF. Is anyone else? No, it's Illithid Sid and then Louis. Illithid, it is your turn. Illithid Sid. Mine is also owned by Disney, he says, ironically. But not always. And it nearly killed Darth Vader's son, so it has that going for it. And it is from a planet made entirely of ice. Okay?
I know what it is.
JMPF knows what it is. What is it, JMPF? Say it. Ooh. Did you guess right, JMPF?
Yes, I did.
Really? Nice. You are a true monsterite. All right, so here we go. Isn't this from Star Wars?
That was what he said.
Yeah.
It's from the second movie.
Oh, yeah, I did mention Darth Vader. So, Wampas. I think Pro mentioned this one. I'm not sure. So, Wampas are powerful furried... Yes, he did. Wampas are powerful furried bipeds that dwell in the snowy wastes of the ice world Hoth. These hulking predators have razor-sharp fangs and claws, yet move with surprising stealth, relying on their white fur for camouflage, while hunting prey such as tauntauns. I know you mentioned tauntauns, Pro. That's pretty awesome. I do like this monster. This is one of from the originals, isn't it? Awesome. It's like a woolly yeti with horns. It's like a Yeti, but more monstrous. There we go. Somebody dropped a few drops of monstrous on it. Bago disappeared. People are disappearing slowly, so we should slowly wrap this up. Yes, ice kangaroo lizards. Right on, Elithid. Any fans of this monster here?
Yeah, the Wampa in particular, I'm not that interested. I much more liked the actual Tauntauns. They're adorable.
Too adorable, if you ask me.
Too adorable. Zeke can't handle the adorableness of it.
No, I don't like it.
What does that actually mean, C, when you say too adorable?
Friend of mine apparently likes them so much that they got one for the Star Wars RP and wouldn't shut up about it.
Yeah, I could see that being annoying. There's always one in the group, I guess I could say. I can't find an image of a Tauntaun. Quick. Are those the ones that they ride? I don't know. You guys can throw an image of
Luke
a Tauntaun up
rides
if you
one
like.
in the first
Yes,
episode,
yeah.
in the second episode.
Yes.
Ah, yeah, there we go. It is the one that they ride. It looks very, like, relatable. It looks like the Wampa itself is a predator of the species, and the Tauntauns are the herbivores. Huh. Just because of those horns. That's weird. Interesting genetic formation you would have. Since it's a different world, we don't necessarily have to relate it to how animals adapt on our planet. But having very different animals having the same type of horns is possible. An interesting idea, an interesting trait. I wonder if they thought much about that. Probably not. Probably not as deep as we think about things here on the Monstercast. Okay, and Louis guessed it too. He said it's the Wampa. Nice. Cool.
I
That's
don't remember its name. That was why I didn't answer.
Aha. You can play as a faction of Wampas in Star Wars Battlefront. That's pretty awesome. Special level PS2
terrifying.
version. Cool. You can play as a Wampa.
Terrifying.
Excellent. Why is it terrifying to play as one?
It sounds like terrifying to have a faction of Wampas, though.
Means they're quite intelligent, or intelligent enough. Wampa Hunt used to scare me as a kid. Nice. That's always fun. Good, fond child memories of being freaked out by some strange creature. Next one is by Louis Zenadog. Check out these images I just posted. The 3. Disney can sell you a Wampa hat, says Illithid Sid. That's actually kind of cool. Cooler than a lot of those other cutesy hats you see out there with the bear ears or something. The Wampa hat. Yeah, if you guys wear a Wampa hat, I'm not going to judge. I'll definitely accept it. Accepting of Wampa hats here at World of Monsters. Okay, here we go. This is what Louis says. Where are you, Louis? Louis says, for the Monstercast, I bring the Krampus Toys into the spotlight. Dirk Clown, who is... So these are like monster toys of Krampus. I didn't know about these. Thank you, Louis. Something new. Dirk Clown, who is a jack-in-the-box that devours and carries his victims to his master. Perchta, I remember that name, is a porcelain cherub with razor-sharp teeth. Der Nutcracker, the wooden toy soldier with a bite that can crack more than nuts. Ticked, sorry that I laughed, that's very serious. TikTok is the toy robot built to tear through anything. Teddy Clow is the teddy bear that will terrify instead of comfort any child or adult. The Krampus cookies are gingerbread men that will fight back and bite back. And finally, the dark elves, I love this, are the dark equivalents to Santa's elves. They appear at Krampus's command and will aid their master in dealing with all opposing victims. Beautiful. That was just a compilation of wonderful Christmas stuff. If you guys could follow the pictures when I was describing them, I'm assuming I did see Krampus. It was actually a better movie than expected, and this is also why, because there was so much practical effects and monsters. That really made me happy. It wasn't just this jump scare film. It was full of monsters. So I recommend Krampus to you guys. I haven't seen the next one or the other ones. But I'm assuming these are all of the movie. They're not of the ancient lore. I know Perchta is somebody which is not a doll. That in here Perchta is shown as a doll, but in mythology that's someone else. So this is more of just the movie. But yeah, just a shout out to see how nice and devilish the movie is. What do you guys think? Have you seen it? Do you want to see it? Don't care?
I've seen a review of it. I'm not particularly interested.
Yeah, definitely won't have a good review. But if you do want to see some monsters, you'll get that.
Sorry.
That's Z's thoughts.
Sorry.
So apparently Z is not impressed.
Sorry.
Neither am I.
Z is sneezing it off. He's scuffing at it. JMPF, have you seen the movie? Want to see it?
I wanna see it. It was on TV last week, but I couldn't see it.
I see.
But I wanna see it.
Cool. Right on. I think it's a great movie for content for a video. Are these from the movie Krampus? Yes, Pro, they are. It's a pretty good movie. I liked it. Cool. Yeah, it's definitely not as bad as expected with the title Krampus, right, Pro? Usually those are low budget flicks that suck. Raincrawler, hello, Raincrawler. If you look over here, Raincrawler, since you're on YouTube, I'll show you. I shared on your behalf. I shared your Santa that you sent me like a couple weeks ago. So thank you for that. I shared on behalf of Louis. And now I'll bring up a list real quick. The movie is great. In the end, everybody is back home. Okay, but Krampus keeps watch over them through a crystal ball like ornament. Nice. That's a nice ending. Not happy, not bad.
No, he basically captured all of them and kidnapped them and put them inside a crystal ball toy, which he keeps along with all of the other families that failed the Christmas spirit.
Oh, yeah.
That ties in with how in the original Krampus actually kidnaps naughty children in his basket. But in this case, this one, if your family fails to provide enough holiday spirit, they're all kidnapped and are forever stuck inside a glass ball forced to relive Christmas.
Now I like that. Speaking of bad reviews, Chris, you just kind of sold the movie a little bit better. So I guess you really read up on the movie, at least to know that, Chris. Or at least you read the almost spoiler.
It was pointed out.
I see. That's a pretty cool ending, though. It's happy but not happy. It's very Stephen King-ish in a way. What about the baby? It was innocent. No one's innocent, Louis. It came from bad blood. I'm kidding. Okay, so from me, I'm not going to share anything in particular. I pulled up this list from Listverse, whatever. So I'm going to read off some monsters there real quick that haven't been mentioned. So if you guys want to stick through. If not, then next Monstercast is going to be, and I'm going to be quick with this, so you can stick around if you want. Next Monstercast is going to be on, sorry, I'm distracted. Oh, yes, our most anticipated monsters of this year, 2020. Okay? Not the decade, that's too long. 2020. So I'll mention that again at the end. So be ready for that. Try to get ready for that if you like. If you want to be more prepared. Most anticipated monsters of 2020. That can be from stories, board games, books, video games, movies, etc. Cartoons. Okie dokie. All right, so some monsters that I found on this list. Oh, and I wanted to ask you guys, so please don't go yet. Because I wanted to ask you guys which one you found the scariest that we've talked about today. So think about that while I discuss these. We had Yoka Una, that's number 10, so no mention of that. We have number 9, the Chino, which is a human-like form and eats humans. I'm just grabbing keywords. It feeds on humans, particularly criminal humans. So if you are a cannibal, very Clearly, if you're a cannibal, if you've eaten other people, you will be devoured. Or, wait, no. You'll be possessed by an evil spirit and turned into a Chino or Cheno. And this Cheno will devour other people. It's human-like, lives in the cold. It's very reminiscent of Wendigo. So the Cheno. Chenoo. Next is the Ijirok. You may have heard about this one, an Ijirok. It's a shapeshifter, preys on small children, those with naive hearts. So if you believe in anything a monster tells you, it's going to eat you up. Well, this will, the Ijirok. It's a shapeshifter. It can appear as any sentient being that you desire as a naive child. So for C, when he was little, it would appear as a Necron. For Chris, it would appear as a rat. For Pro, it would appear as Mechagodzilla. And then they would follow it and say, hey, I want to play with you. And then it would eat them. Yes, they all had annoying voices like that. But they grew up nicely.
See, that's where it would fuck up. If it shows up as a rat, I am a well-versed enough rat to know that I need to stab any other rat to prevent it from doing something to me.
Chris,
Yeah.
you kill your own kind?
Of course they do.
You are
It's
sick.
That is the Skaven's most favorite pastime.
You are truly a Skaven.
I
All
am
right.
aware.
Continuing, you may have heard about this one in your searches too. It is number 7. It is the Nuclevi. Creature is a centaur. Often you will see it like looking like a centaur, but not like the usual kind of nice centaur-looking creatures. This one looks weird. It looks like a person riding it, but is part of the body. A lot of renditions make it look very creepy. Hey, Mark Peters. Awesome to have you here, my friend. Yeah, Mark Peters here's here. Actually, that's, I think, the first time I don't see much here, Mark Peters. Rain Crawler guys and Mark Peters are a couple of my favorite, among the favorites that always enter the art contests, and they just have that gritty graphite drawing style, kind of like Donde too. But awesome. I have your female Venom Predator right here on my table, Mark, and I finally framed your images. I wanted to tell you, I finally framed your drawings. They're on my table. I might hang one up or just keep them here, but they are looking at me all the time. Thank you, Mark. Anyway, so that's a Nuclevi. It's kind of that twisted-looking centaur, if you've ever seen images of that. And yeah, maybe the most disturbing fact about it, as it says here, is it has no skin. So you can see the blood coursing through its twisted veins. It's a demon of sorts. And it's from Scotland. Hell yeah. That's so many cool things about it.
Incredible what a little bit of whiskey can do to you when you see a rhino.
Yes. The Scottish
kind of
really
like
drink. That's what it proves.
So it's kind of like Lilith from the latest Diablo 4 cinematic.
I don't know what that is, and I don't want to think about it.
Diablo 4.
Oh, yes, that one. Yes, I think it's like that. No,
Oh
no
man,
promises,
Diablo
I don't know
4.
that.
I don't know. I was so unhappy with how easy Diablo 3 was. I don't know. I don't know what to think of Diablo 4.
The games are of varying quality, but one thing you can't deny, Blizzard makes the best cinematics out there.
That's
a
hard
company
to
to
argue
make their own.
against. That is hard to argue against. The cinematic. They should just, at this point, maybe they shouldn't focus on games as much and just make some awesome movies. Better than the WoW
would be
movie,
what they
from what I
want.
heard.
Considering how much they fucked over the storylines of World of Warcraft and Diablo, I'm hesitant to ask for that.
Yeah, it looks like they're sucking. They're gonna start sucking from both ends.
This is the one reason because I am a Blizzard fan, but above that, I'm a StarCraft fan. And one of the main reasons I'm happy that they're not making anything new for StarCraft, they cannot fuck its lore beyond what it's already gotten to.
Wasn't there something with that one thing
Yeah.
turning into another? What's it called?
Yes, they made Kerrigan into a golden angel lady to beat the big bad boss. Cringe. I thought, because throughout the entire Legacy of the Void campaign, you got this whole segment of how two races unite in order to become Xel'Naga. So you think, oh, okay, so Kerrigan and Artanis are going to get their bodies merged to be able to house the essence of a Xel'Naga to become proper Xel'Naga to fight the big bad boss. I know Kerrigan's good enough on her own. You don't need anything else. Like,
Yeah. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. So, Nuclevi, the last thing I wanted to mention about it is it was blamed for famines and droughts within surrounding villages. Villagers used to say a prayer each time its name was uttered, as they were terrified that the Nuclevi would torment them for speaking such taboo. Okay, number 6, we have Mahaha. Mahaha. Just how you hear it, that's how it's spelled. Is another Inuit demon that terrorizes the Canadian Arctic. This one looks a little bit... Let's see... They have ice blue skin that appears to be stretched so tightly around their bodies that their bones are visibly protruding. You like that? You should.
How delightful!
Yes.
No, not really.
The mark of the Mahaha is just as unsettling as the sight of the creature itself. It's always smiling and giggling. Oh, I believe this is the monster that when it kills you, tickles its victim to death. With the nails, huh? The victims are left frozen with a smile on their face. So, yeah, there you go. That's happy.
If it tries to tickle me, I will punch it in the face.
Oh, whatever. The next one, number 5, is Paul Ryuk. Yet another Inuit creature. Basically, it's a giant sea creature with 3 kind of hump body parts. This creature has a snake-like head and protrudes from the waters. It's not that big. It's, I would barely call it a giant. It's 3 meters long, so about 10 feet. Its upper body resembles a snake. So, there you go. Next one is Koguk Pak. This one's interesting. 40,000 years ago, I believe that mammoth this kind of cryptid came from mammoth carcasses. They were believed to be corpses of these subterranean monsters. So these would be underwater monsters. They were said to have large tusks like a mammoth. So underwater monsters that have tusks. This belief came from frozen mammoths. Fascinating what people found. Huh. I wonder how many mammoths people saw like that were really preserved beautifully in the ice and then over the ages melted down before we got the technology and stuff to retrieve them and, degraded. Let's see.
It's pretty much dinosaur bones that kind of got the myth of dragons going.
Right. Next we have the Kikern. I wonder how many of these JMPF knows. Probably seen a few of these JMPF on your searches. Kikern. While some believe it to be a vampire dog or hellhound, Kikerns are typically known as large evil spirit dogs. Okay, so it's a spirit dog, guys. Let's see. The dog is completely bald with the exception of its paws. So it doesn't have... It's hairless dog at that, except for on its paws. So it's like that breed of ugly dog. Known as ugly dogs. Forgot what they're called. These spirit dogs approach travelers during the winter months when they are alone at night in unknown lands. All right. Close enough to the traveler, you will suffer endless fits until liberated by the pain of death. Nice. So when it gets near you, you will have fits, crazy fits, until it kills you. Number 2, as you guys have mentioned before, the Wendigo from Native American mythology. I wouldn't say too winterish on that one. Many different takes of it.
I think the theme with the Wendigo having a winter theme is because people snow in and such during the winter times. Lovely. I know.
And so you don't have access to resources, so cannibalism
becomes more creepy, yeah, and that too. There are many different takes. There are many with the deer horns, which I believe I haven't found anything yet too historic on that. That's a newer take. It's a really cool take, I admit it, but it's not too canon on the cryptid.
How can you call a cryptid canon?
Well, because the cryptid has its own historic lore. So lore is lore, right? Real or fake.
Fair point.
So I do like that look of it, but it's not really relevant. That's why when I did my drawing of my sketch on the channel of Wendigo, it was a little more boring and zombie-looking-ish, but that's because that's how it was described. One of my favorite features of the Wendigo is it becomes the same size as what it devours. I love that idea. Let's feed it elephants.
Don't lead a lot of moose up there. Does Canada have moose? Oh, who am I kidding? Canada has moose.
When I finally get to breeding Wendigos, I'm going to bring in blue whales to feed them. And yes, that will be fun.
I'm getting my harpoon just because you said that.
Wendigos are only interested in human flesh, though, and they don't grow to the size of what they grow the more they eat. So their stomach constantly expands, and they're forever eternally hungry. That's their curse.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you can have huge Wendigos. You just have to force feed them a lot.
Can you force feed an incarnation of starving?
I'm wondering if I read that about it or another monster then. Or if there's different versions. Could be. Anyway. An eternal hunger is always a wonderful, monstrous thing. The last one's at number 1, which I don't think they should be at number 1, but whatever. This is not my list. Is Calicancharo. Calicancharoi. I think these might be the ones that have the Yule Cat. I'm not sure. Maybe not. No, the Yuletide Boys or the Yule Boys or something, which is kind of in the monster lore. They own the Yule Cat, I believe. Something like that. Anyway, the Calicancharoi, sorry. What do they do? They're this little type of imps. Did somebody just leave?
I think so.
Yes, Darth Phoenix. Goodbye, Darth. So what they are is, and we are almost done, guys. This is the last one. These are tiny gnome-like creatures that spend their lives working from home. They wreak havoc on humans, homes, and villages when let out. There you go. So that is this list of 10, which we covered maybe a couple of from that list, but that's just a list to make this chat more interesting. We are at the 2-hour mark, and my final question before we all are free is, which on today's list of discussed... Hold on. All right. Which... I opened the door to cool myself off, and then there's silly drivers out. Okay. Which monster on today's list was the scariest? As that was one of the main points. Which was the scariest winter monster discussed today to you? Please.
I have to go with the Yule Man.
Chris says Yule Man.
I mean, I would say wolves, but I'm boring. But the Yule Man is definitely a close second.
Okay. JMPF agrees too, I think. So that's 3 people. Illithid, what do you think? And Pro? The Frozen movie. Silent Hill Siren.
Oh yeah, the Frozen movie is definitely a Silent.
I like the ice form from the book. The scary thing to see something be worshipped while it's still eating its followers. Yeah, love that idea. Isn't that many of our gods on Earth? No. I've never heard of Calicancharo. They sound crazy fun. I like those. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Little black demons. Silent Hill. I wonder if Calicancharo were ever mentioned in a movie. I would like to see them in a movie. Silent Hill Siren. So Raincrawler mentioned Silent Hill Siren. Oh yeah, Silent Hill Siren. That is the siren itself. I'm going to have to say the SCP, the Yule Man as well. But it's like clearly creepy. Well, it's a naked guy out in the snowstorm. That is pretty creepy in and of itself. But definitely
is the least of my problem with it.
All right. The face, the killing of the parents, all that. Blah, blah, blah.
Killing of the family, not just parents, and then abducting you into slavery.
Yeah, that's pretty dark. Beautiful lore. Again, too bad it's only SCP lore, but still beautiful at that. I do think the worm, the white worm, that's a pretty crazy thing, especially if you're on a boat with your guys, with your men, just 6 of you or so on a fishing boat out in the Arctic, and then you see this iceberg making its way toward you with this gigantic worm. That's pretty wild. But I guess, the creepy factor is not as high as some of the other ones here. I don't think any are super scary, but I'll go with the Yule Man for creepiness. All right, so the Yule Man wins. So congratulations, Darth Phoenix, who left. I'll give him a watermelon because he had the scariest monster in a way today. All right, guys. So let's wrap this up. Next Monstercast will be number 61. I think I'll make it to that one. So no updates on that yet. It will be about our most anticipated monsters of 2020. Whatever your lore you're looking at, just what you see is going to be coming up, what is hinted out there, or maybe already revealed. What are you really looking forward to experiencing this year, whether visual, reading about, or whatever, or hearing about? Which monster of 2020? Alrighty? That'll be fun because at the end of the year we can look back and see if what you were anticipating was indeed your favorite. So let's try to keep that in mind throughout the year, although we'll probably forget that. But it'd be a fun point to explore. Mark Peters says the Wendigos, the creepy. I could definitely see that too. It's definitely on par with the Yule Man. All right, boys and girls. Do we have any girls here? That's up to you guys. I'm not going to judge. Moment of silence for Super OCD. Just for old time's sake, even if these people don't become active for a while, it's just a nice tradition we keep up here on the Monstercast, showing that we don't forget people and we appreciate everyone that joins in. With that, you guys have a great week. Stay monstrous, my friends. Say your goodbyes and your final words.
On behalf of Victor, I would like to say, don't fear the unknown. Study it, seek it out, understand it. To which I reply with, fear the unknown. Shoot it in the face with a shotgun.
The best kind of shotgun. Well, I like Necrons. Hello.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, and thank you to you guys over on YouTube, of course. Raincrawler, Louie, Mark, and... sorry about that. And Maurice. And then everybody here who is Bago, JMPF, Chris, Pro, C, Dio, Beth, Bago, Darth, and I think that's everyone. If I missed you, I still love you. Bye-bye.